I have no bucket list in my life. I've done everything I've wanted to do.
That's right. Lori Kelly says there is nothing she's missed out on in life. The head coach, originally from Minnesota, says girls didn't get to play many sports in high school. When she got to college, she found field hockey.
It was pretty cool. I took some classes, and especially in field hockey, and they knew I was an ice hockey player, and so they were like, wow, I bet you'd be good at this.
She played field hockey at Bemidji State. Eventually, she came to Montana.
Custer County High School in Miles City, Montana, their superintendent graduated from Bemidji State. So there was a job opening. I had no idea where Miles City was, and the funny part is I came on a visit to the school, and it was during the bucking horse sale, and I thought, man, I'm coming here. This is the funnest town in the world.
When she made it to Miles City after college, she ran into her future husband.
He was, get this one, training racehorses. So here we go. And so I would go to the horse races and thought, oh, wow, there's a good-looking trainer there, you know.
She eventually left Miles City and taught in Roundup for 25 years. After that, Kelly started the Miles City Community College volleyball program. Eventually, Rocky called. And while she is one of the few female coaches at Rocky, she's just one of the guys.
They get me, and I get them. And coaching with a bunch of great guys, and our AD and our president, and it's so rewarding. I love coming to work.
The hardest thing for Kelly when it comes to coaching is watching players leave and never seeing them again.
You hope that you impacted their life and that they're successful in their life. And I know life goes on for people, and they don't owe me to call me every year.
And just like many other coaches, it's the relationships Kelly enjoys the most.
I love meeting new kids. I love talking them into coming to Rocky Mountain College and what we can do for them. I love seeing, turning them into successful young women that go out and now they're coaching.
On a personal note, Kelly loves animals.
I raised 3 calves on bottles once. I raised a couple pigs. I mean, my husband won't let me have chickens, but I tried to raise bunnies. Did that once. You know, I like animals.
Kelly and her husband have 2 grown daughters and several grandkids.
Our vacations result around watching somebody play sports or roping or doing something like that.
And speaking of vacations, Kelly would rather have a staycation and catch something on her fishing line.
We have a boat and we go fishing once in a while. When we're all done with the horses and coaching and all that, I think my husband and I might fish more. Anything that will bite my line, because I never catch a fish. I'm terrible. Terrible.
In Billings, Lori Buhring, SWX, Montana.
I'm a small town kid from Hinsdale, Montana. You know, I never forgot where I came from, where the mosquitoes are, there's lots of mosquitoes and, lots of great people.
The Rocky coach says his dad was very influential in his life and that he fell in love with the game of basketball early on.
My dad was doing some coaching, and he let us play in first and second grade at the halftime of games.
He went to Hinsdale High School, where he had only 10 kids in his graduating class. Drykozen then went to Miles Community College, played basketball for 2 years, and then headed to Rocky and played from 1991 to 1994.
I guess before that I didn't even know where Rocky Mountain College was, but now I don't know any other place.
While one of the best moments for the Rocky coach is the 2009 National Championship win, the biggest thing for him as a coach is giving players the game plan of life.
I think it's a really unique time as a coach to impact kids in their life. My spiritual life is really important to me, in my faith, in following the Lord. I think it's a time when you can really influence kids.
While giving that game plan out, Drykozen says you can write a book on the difficulties that come with coaching.
If you kind of make your profession your God, or just that's who you are as your profession, then it can, ruin a marriage, it can ruin a family, it can ruin your health.
He says he didn't know if he really ever knew for sure that he wanted to become a basketball coach.
Played at such a young age and on through high school with the same kids, and I just don't know if I knew what else there was besides basketball. Now I've realized there is life beyond basketball.
During college is when Dracozen met his wife.
She come up to scrimmage against Rocky, and I was on the men's team, but somehow I got coursed into refereeing that game. And then, yeah, just after college, we both decided it was time to settle down, and we've had a great marriage. Over 21 years of marriage, so we're enjoying it, to the fullest, and we got 3 great kids.
Dracozen says while he will stick with college basketball, he does like to watch the pros. He says the best team of all time is the Boston Celtics.
When I was growing up in the 80s, the Larry Bird era and all that stuff, before they, it really ballooned as far as how much they pay players and all the contracts and everything. So I was just unique basketball to watch, the Celtics and the Lakers, so I just got hooked onto them.
And lastly, when it comes to his favorite basketball movie,
probably Hoosiers. In Indiana, they play all classifications against each other, so the small schools could go up and beat the biggest schools. And that would have been something we would love to do, because I come from the smallest schools, because everybody's always saying, well, hey, we're better, we're here, we're that. But we were able to be one of the smallest schools in the state and win a state championship. And so I think that always resonates with me.
In Billings, Lori Buhring, SWX, Montana.
I want to show myself as a servant leader, someone who puts others first before themselves.
Stephen Kavala is from the east side of the United States.
I grew up in North Carolina, so I had to play basketball, obviously, growing up in my formidable years, but I think my last year of basketball was like 3rd grade or something. From like 4th grade on, it was just strictly soccer.
He graduated from East Lincoln High School and went on to play soccer at Warren Wilson College for 2 years. Kavala then went to Frostburg State in Maryland. He got his degree in geography, but hasn't done too much with it except maybe figure out where the treasure state is located.
I enjoyed geography. I wanted to be a high school history teacher when I was younger. I came to college and I was like, I want to be a college soccer coach. I was doing the history route and it was difficult for me, so I always loved learning about people, places, things, so that's what kind of made me switch into geography.
Kavala moved to Billings in 2014.
I kind of dropped everything and moved to the other side of the country. I was an assistant coach here for 3 years and then was hired as a head coach in January of 2017.
But why coaching? Kavala says his parents instilled in him and his siblings the ability to serve others.
My younger brother Matt wants to be a college math professor. He's getting his doctorate now towards that. My youngest brother Quinn just graduated from college. He wants to be a high school band director. So we all kind of are like being in leadership roles that allow us to try to make someone else's life better.
Coaching involves managing personalities, which can be a blessing and a curse, according to Kavala.
When everyone clicks and everyone's on the same page, it's great, but it's difficult to get sometimes 24 to 25 players to all buy in essentially a 3-month period or 2.5-month period, which is what our season is.
Kavala says one of the cool parts about coaching college soccer is that he can pick players to come to MSUB.
You can go around the world to find players that you feel will fit into not just your style of play, but more importantly, the culture and the atmosphere and the chemistry and family-orientated culture, I'd say, that we want to have.
When he was younger, the MSUB coach says he was a huge Tim Howard fan.
When I first started playing goalkeeper, Tim Howard was, right out of college in MLS, and I remember my parents just got TiVo for the first time, where you could pause and slow down television. So I would watch Tim Howard games and see how he saved the ball and what was his footwork like.
Kavala says he was rooting for Senegal and Nigeria in the World Cup and explains his love for African soccer.
You know what you're gonna get when you watch an African soccer game. It's they don't have the same structure as European players that grow up in these professional clubs from when they were 6 years old. It's a little bit more street soccer. You play on the beach, you play in the street, and then you obviously come and play for the national team.
The movie Kicking and Screaming is pretty accurate, Kavala says.
I base my whole coaching, coaching aura off of Will Ferrell's character in that movie. I love that movie, yes. We do reference that quite a few times, yell juice box boy at people. No, Kicking and Screaming is obviously a very accurate representation of youth soccer.
And in Kavala's eyes, the drive from Cody to East Yellowstone entrance is the most beautiful drive he's seen. In Billings, Lori Buhring, SWX, Montana.
I love coaching, I love working with kids, I love working with people.
Head coach for RMC's cross-country and track teams, Mike McLean, is originally from New York City. He went to high school in New Jersey.
Went to Richfield Park High School and graduated from Richfield Park, did well in track, tried lots of different sports, and track was the opportunity to get a chance to do something. Baseball sat on the bench, basketball sat on the bench, I wrestled, I did a lot of different sports.
McLean went on to Glassboro State College, now known as Rowan University.
I had some great coaches. One was an Olympian, one was an expert in exercise physiology. And I listened to my coaches in college real well and had a lot of success, more than I ever thought I would.
McLean says he came by Glacier Park for training in 1979. He loved the area so much he left his job at Newsweek magazine in New York to drive a bus in Glacier National Park.
Came out and stayed in Montana since then pretty much. And started coaching with the junior track program in 1982. Lou Savick in Kalispell, I think he's still working with the programs up there and helping kids have fun with track and field.
He restarted the program at Flathead Community College. He was then offered a job at Flathead High School. After that, he became the head cross country and the distance track coach at Glacier High School. So let's just say he's been around the Treasure State. Now he's at Rocky and couldn't be happier.
From the president on down, you feel welcome here at Rocky. It's almost like a park in Billings. And when people come on campus, they love it here. And we always ask student athletes, if there's any student athletes out there looking on my recruiting spiel, come and visit. Because if you don't like the atmosphere here, if you don't like the coaches, the teachers, the kids, don't come.
That's Duncan Hamilton now coming into fifth. Jory.
The head coach says the toughest thing for him as a coach is getting athletes to understand that they are a student athlete, not an athlete student.
That's part of your student athlete contract, is making sure your grades and the number of credits you take are appropriate to meeting the standards of not just the NAIA but Rocky. And Rocky has higher standards than the NAIA.
If you ever catch McLean listening to music, it might likely be Suspicious Minds by Elvis.
One time, it was either high school, just after high school, Elvis died. And they're playing all these songs on the radio. I'm hearing all these songs. I'm like, man, these songs are all good today. Why are they all good? And I think my sister, somebody said, well, they're all Elvis songs. I'm like, are you serious? All of those songs are his? I didn't know that.
McLean's favorite movie is Princess Bride, which is mine too.
I think the different lessons in it, plus the different characters and the comedy and the humor, it's just super fun.
And lastly, one of his hobbies is gold mining.
I actually had a streak going on in Arizona 8 days in a row. I found gold. So that was pretty fun, and it's a little bit. It's not, you're not going to get rich, but I have met people that have found 61-ounce nuggets. And that's a huge amount of money, because gold, just even though it's $1,200 an ounce now, you'll get way more for that for a big nugget like that.
In Billings, Lori Buhring, SWX, Montana.